So a little bit about Jim. Once a successful agent and executive manager, Jim Ruta is president of Advisor Craft Media and helps insurance agents maximize their sales performance. He has spoken 4 times at the MDRT annual meeting, including on the main platform, has written 4 books, is a regular industry columnist, and is under contract with MDRT Academy and Global Services. His crusade is to preserve, promote, and propel the noble profession of selling life insurance. His Advisor Craft programs draw advisors from around the world to their School of Life Insurance Selling, master classes, and life agents. Jim has been producing weekly Facebook Live videos since 2017. Jim, over to you.
Well then, how long does it take for an average person to become a life insurance agent? Answer: the average person will never become a life insurance agent. And that's the truth. We see a lot of this around today about, here's what you have to do, but here's what it is. If you are a successful life insurance agent right now, you are already way above average. I mean, way above average. You are persistent, you are resilient, you are persuasive, you are professional, you are proficient, you are entrepreneurial, you are confident, you are competent, you are optimistic, you are enthusiastic, and you are energetic. That's how this has to be. That's the business that I started, that I got involved in many years ago. So you are far above average, and it's time that you lived up to your talent. You see, there has never been a better time, James, to be in as a life insurance advisor. People need life insurance and financial guidance more than they ever have. They also appreciate the need for the product more than they ever did either, thanks to, well, all it took was a worldwide plague to get people kind of clicked in on that idea. And their options are better than ever. We have companies and sponsors and firms that create all kinds of tremendous products, but they need more help today picking their way through them than they ever did. As far as this business goes, it just doesn't get any better than this. Now, before I dive in, here's a little bit more about me. I joined the Life Underwriters Association of Canada in March of 1978, just after I started as a Mutual Life of Canada agent in Winnipeg, Manitoba. At the time, think about this, there were some 53 life insurance companies recruiting career agents in the city. Recruiting inexperienced agents, 53. In my first year, I sold more than 100 lives, and I ran my own detached office by 1979, and I joined management in 1981. One of those mistakes that'll always be with me, Bob. It's just a sad thing. I helped a second-place agency jump to number 2 out of 70 in Canada in just 2 years. Later, I led a top 3 branch with Confederation Life and then the premier organization of Canada Life here on Bay Street with some 250 advisors until 1998 when the company moved to wholesale distribution. I helped start 2 MGAs, and for the last 25 years, I've been a coach, consultant, and keynote speaker, like on the main platform, the $1 Million Roundtable. And later today, after I finish here, I get on a plane and I fly to Warsaw, Poland, for 3 hours worth of concurrently translated English presentation to a Polish crowd. This ought to be very interesting. Today, I'm very blessed to work with some of the very best advisors in the world and know many, many more of them. It has been a dream, to be honest with you. You heard from Ali earlier on. My crusade today is to preserve, promote, and propel the noble profession of selling life insurance. The noble profession of selling life insurance. You see, I'm thinking the other side of this doesn't need any help. We had a lot of help over here on how to run the rest of the business. But this is one where we need more help. And that's why I'm here with you today, to help keep that dream of mine alive. You see, professionalism means a great deal to me. It always has, and it's always been the only way I ever considered doing business. What's right is right was always rule one for the agents I brought into this business. What's right is right. And there is no wrong way, Harris, to do the wrong thing, to do the right thing. Sorry, there is no right way to do the wrong thing. My apologies. But you know what? I've seen professionalism go off the rails. The idea has been co-opted by every designation and organization to be totally inclusive of all of them. But this doesn't work. Still, there is a way to thread your way through the tapestry of today's business and to be a professional that today's client and today's industry still needs. And that's what I plan to lay out for you today. You see, this new golden age of needs professional advisors with a new professionalism. It's about using your expertise to your client's best advantage, about collaborating with other professionals to provide full service, and helping as many people as you can. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. It's about caring more than some believe prudent, Ijaz. About helping more than others think necessary. And it's about achieving more than you ever thought possible, Wade. Here's my observation based on my many years as an ardent student of this business. The new professional is about simplicity, not complication. It's about helping more people, not fewer. It's about guaranteeing what I call essential financial security, both personal and corporate, while you can. It's about compelling concepts that engage and not difficult processes that do not. And frankly, it's about top service for all. You see, generally, professionalism is described as the skill and competence expected of a professional. But in our case, a professional what? Can we be all things to all people beyond at the very basic level? Do other advisors, other professional advisors, pretend to do it all? Do they? Pretend to serve all needs? Do doctors, do lawyers, do accountants, do dentists? They don't. They don't. You see, focus is the very definition of professionalism. And the truth is this: there is no new professionalism. Professionalism isn't old or new. It just is. It's just the environment in which it applies that is different. You see, a life insurance advisor's challenge today is to perform as expected in an environment that exceeds their ability to excel. No one can do all that the industry expects from everyone. You know, I was around, some of you weren't born then, which is very disappointing to me, although the option to me not being here is much worse for me. When the four pillars of the financial services market merged in the 1980s, and I was there, expected competence all of a sudden just, boom, quadrupled. All of a sudden, we were expected to excel in four, not just one, not just our pillar, but everybody else's pillar. Kel, you got yours, and Chris got Wade. Everybody got it. Well, now we'll put them all together. We're going to keep them together. So we were expected to excel in trusts and estates, in banking, in stock brokerage, and life insurance. And there are very few among us who can do all of that. I'm not saying there aren't any, but there are very few that can and do it well. We have the same challenge, I believe, in our association, one that I signed up for in March of 1978. It's time to return to our expertise so we can truly live non solus nobis, not for ourselves alone, because the danger is always sliding back into solus nobis, for me first. That would be the thing. We have to watch that. You see, I think that Advocates has been a leader in the life insurance space since 1906. And it's time we owned it again as an association. It's not my idea. I heard it from a guy, I can't say who, Harris Jones. But it's a hell of an idea. Similarly, as life insurance professionals, we own the life insurance space, and it's high time we took full advantage of that position too. No one can do what we do as well as we can. And in the new professionalism, we need to build it around what only we can do. So let me give you this. There are 6 ways to be a new professional. And let me start by saying that high performance is a learned skill. A friend of mine, Van Miller in Milwaukee, who does about 1,200 cases a year by himself, will tell you this. High performance is a learned skill. What does that mean? That means if you want to do it, you could learn how. You could learn how to be a high performer in this business. So, but clients, you see, they don't want just information. They want interpretation. They don't want content. Gosh, just turn on the internet. We got content. They want context. And they don't need data. God knows we got data. We have big data. We have extra big data. We have jumbo data. You know what we need? We need wisdom. You know what clients need? Wisdom. They need you as an advisor to boil it all down, by the way, in your specialty, so you can help me understand. That's what we need. So we have to stop with what one advisor once called professional confusement. I swear he told me this. He said, I asked him what he did. He went on for 5 minutes in a dissertation. I had no idea what he was saying. I said, what in God's name did you just say? He said, well, what I've discovered is that if I use a lot of big words and long sentences, that people think that I know, Wade, what I'm talking about. I said, you know, you're not going to have a long career, but it's going to seem long. That's exactly, and you know what? I got to tell you something. It changed him. Today he runs a very successful organization. And professional confusement, God. Professional confusement is gone. Stop that. Professionals help their clients understand what they need to do in such a way that they want to do it. We have to help them want to do it. So speaking like a PhD, so you need an MBA just to understand and buy, impresses the advisor but helps, well, absolutely nobody else. Number 2, specialize and collaborate. I was just working with a guy. I was just speaking in Beirut, Lebanon. So I'm going to Poland. Someone said to me, Jim, try not to start anything when you're in Poland. Because I was there literally on October 7th. It's a horrible thing. But I was talking with a guy there who, his target for 2024, Wade, is 1,000 times MDRT. So what? 1,000 times? Not 100. By the way, if he was overstating it by 10 times, 100 would still be pretty good. And you know what he says? I never, ever, ever compete with anybody, ever. And that's the truth. This is no longer a business where most advisors in most markets can afford. You see, we have to specialize. And so collaboration means we work with our specialty with others. But this is a place where we can no longer afford to be what I like to call a doctor of all theologies. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. James W. Ruta. I specialize in all the ologies. I do cardiology, I do immunology, I do oncology, I do urology, I do proctology, I do astrology, because it sounds the same. I do neurology, I even do geology, in case you have rocks in your head. Yes, sirree, I do all the ologies. You never go to a doctor like that. But for some reason, we think we have to be all things to all people. We spread ourselves very thinly in this business. And I'm here to tell you that high performance in this business is a daily battle against spreading yourself too thinly. We never could be all things to all people as we've been trying to do since the 80s. I think in our efforts to do so, we've also created a business where, with our credentials, and we have all kinds of them, we automatically appear to compete with other professionals to no one's advantage, least of all the clients. In addition, we compete with our colleagues in the business so we can get all the business. Like I said a minute ago, here's the thing. Top advisors around the world do not compete with anyone. They collaborate and they move on. They collaborate and they move on. You think of what you can do. There's a former president of the $1 Million Roundtable, who I know very well, who made he made top of the table his entire career on only 30% of the compensation. Because he collaborated, Christopher, with everybody else. But he was able to get people in on that deal, Kelly, and that was the cool thing. So the time you spend to challenge another professional of any stripe holds you back from helping more people, and that holds you back from helping more and achieving all you can. Number 3, and this is a different one. Prioritize essential financial security for your clients. You know, and I think we've forgotten about this critical tenet of our business. See, I think we're embarrassed by being life insurance agents. Oh, what do you do? Well, I'm a financial advisor. Why do you ask? But do you think the people that are making 1,000 times MDRT are embarrassed? No, because they know nobody can do what they can do. Nobody. Nobody at all. So here's the deal. We have forgotten this tenet, and as life insurance professionals, we have an obligation to ensure that our clients are protected against insurable threats while they still can be. You see, we are one heartbeat away from immortality in this business. Just one heartbeat away. Just one heartbeat away. Freddie D. Donaldson, Enterprise, Alabama, many years ago, said this way. He said, the only mystery in life is in the length of it, he said. But we're all just one heartbeat away from immortality or morbidity, just one heartbeat away. And here's the interesting thing about life. When it's over, it's over. We have to get to them, Ali, before our real competitors get to them. So we want to make sure that they're protected against insurable threats. We help guard them against the extraordinary consequences of health disasters so they do not also become financial and emotional disasters. Harris told me a story in the break about his first death claim. He sold a fireman. Didn't get a chance to deliver the policy before the guy and 4 others were killed in the fire truck by a train. Would that stick with you forever? Yes, it did. It was like fresh when he said it. That's the financial catastrophe, and he helped assuage the financial catastrophe so it didn't become an emotional one. Do you know anybody who's died without life insurance? They have no money. Chris, does it get better? Oh, this is working out. Yeah, it's not so bad. We have, one less mouth to feed. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You see, the unpredictability of these occurrences means that the only professional way to handle this is to reposition planning after creating essential financial security and before creating financial independence. I'm just saying, take the planning off the bottom of the pyramid and move it up a bit. Is planning a good thing? Absolutely. Should we do it? Absolutely. Do clients need it? Ever more than ever. We just have it in the wrong spot. What this means is we can use rules of thumb to begin your planning process initially and then customize your needs later. You see, you don't have to be dead not to be able to buy this stuff. Right? Anything can happen. So you want to sell life insurance? Well, 10 times annual income plus maybe 15 times, maybe 20 times is a way to start. And 5 times annual income for CI, this guy I was talking to you about from Dubai, he says, you're saying 10 times? Why do you say 10 times? He says, everybody knows. He says, I said, what do you mean 5 times CI? Why do you say 5 times? He says, everybody knows. And here's the thing. There are no rules. Let's understand one thing. Nobody needs life insurance, period. Nobody needs it. I've been in a lot of jurisdictions. I've been in a lot of countries. I've talked to a lot of people. In not one of those jurisdictions is there some rule. We even have regulators here. No rule says if I have 4 kids and a spouse who stays home and I'm making $200,000 a year that I need to have $5 million worth of life insurance. No rule says that. So it's not about what I need. What's it about? It's about what I want. See, I need car insurance because to get that white boat that I drive here, I have to have all kinds of insurance. The law says I need it, Chris. I need it. I don't need life insurance, but I want it. I told when I was like 35 years old, I had $2 million worth of life insurance. People would say to me, Jimmy, are you nuts? $2 million. Now, when I was 35, that was a long time ago. Why would you have that much life insurance? I says, it's easy. It'll give my widow a better choice of daddies for my kids. And see, isn't that right? See, rich widows can do whatever they want. Poor widows get forced into bad decisions. You can prevent bad decisions. We're in the bad decisions business, the bad decision prevention business. So help protect clients from insurable threats first, so you don't let them plan while they're exposed to them. Has this ever happened to you? Well, the people were going to buy $3 million. And when are they going to buy it? December 14th. We got a date all set up there. We're all ready to go on December 14th. Anybody ever had a situation where December 14th never came? Doesn't that just eat you up? If our job is to be helpful, doesn't that just eat you up? This is a basic life insurance business reality. And it's one that if we can remember that, and nobody else brings checks to funerals. Nobody, ChatGPT doesn't put its arm around. Well, it's very good. Hang on a second. I think I understand you have a problem, but I'm sure you'll be better. ChatGPT don't do that. Number 4, use life insurance for all it can do. Life insurance is so much more than risk management in the hands of a competent professional. And I say this because as we've gotten smarter in this business and more professional, we have simply avoided the idea of using insurance except for risk management. You've got a problem, we'll solve it with one way. There's more to it than this. Learn about how it can turn always taxed money into never taxed money. Learn how you can take money out of your right pocket and put into your left pocket. It goes from being always taxed over here to never taxed over here. But it's still in your genes, isn't it? Still in my pants. Still my pants. But if you understand how that works, You can do amazing things. And by the way, as our companies will do, and some of them are in this room, they'll always wave these flags. Well, have you seen what those really important financial insurance guys have written? It's a $10 million annual premium. 100 to 130 million a face amount. What the hell are you slaggards doing? You think that stuff is risk management? Come on, I was talking to a very successful agent recently who is 80 years old. And this guy he bought we were just chatting, and he says, well, that's why I bought that $4 million whole life case. I said, what? I said, $4 million? He said, well, yeah. I said, you were 78. 78, you bought $4 million? He says, yes. I said, why? He says, well, Jimmy, you have some idea of the kind of money that I make, and he's a multi-million dollar producer. I said, yeah, of course I do. He says, well, that's my way to stash the cash. You see, I have $4 million, but if I put $400,000 in a 10-pay, and I die in the first year, my family gets $4 million and the balance of the $4 million I didn't put in. At the end of 10 years, what happens is my client, I get all my money back in my policy, because I do, close enough for him. He says, and meanwhile, my life insurance policy just keeps getting bigger and bigger. He says, I get to keep more of my money. It's a stash of cash. So we show prospects how it can create a foundational asset that you can help to build financial independence both personally and corporately. I had a friend of mine, can't say who, George Sigurdsson, phoned me this morning on my way up here. He said, Jimmy, I heard an idea. He says, have you ever heard about a corporate RRSP? That's unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I said, well, I've heard it under 3 or 4 different iterations, like maybe an unlimited TFSA corporately. He said, yeah, unbelievable. How much more of that could I sell? Because he understands how it works, and he understands how it plays. And do you just willy-nilly, does everybody get it? No, they don't. Do you have to qualify? Of course you do. Is it important that you find the right people, the right time with the right product, at the right amount for the right budget? Of course. There's no right way to do a wrong thing. So, become a life insurance professional and own the space in your marketplace. And own the product too. You have no idea how many advisors I talk to who own next to no life insurance, and some, none at all. If you don't own it, you ain't selling it. I promise you. Number 5, democratize your expertise. Make it easier for your prospects to take advantage of your knowledge and skill by approaching them with compelling concepts that attract their interest and engage them in the process. You see, I'd like to drop by and just do a 3-hour financial planning exercise with you, Wade. When would it be convenient? And the answer to that question is always what? Never! But what if I can give you a reason why you would want to do that? In fact, you would say to me, how do I get one of them? And you go, well, I need to ask you a few questions. Would that be okay? Yes, that would be awesome. Bring them on. My friend in Dubai says, we put fact-finding at the wrong place in this. We put it in the wrong place. I said, what do you mean? He says, it's the weirdest thing. First thing in fact-finding, we start asking, husband and wife. So we start asking, how much money do you make? How much money do you have in the bank? How much does your wife weigh? And we wonder why we have problems. You see, we don't learn. We haven't learned. You see, this is what gives me doubts about evolution. Why, if evolution is a thing, have we not figured this out? Except, you know what I know, Christopher? Really smart guys, they figured it out. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. So, in our rush of the past, let's make one other thing. Put it this way. Help more people also to improve their financial security, especially the forgotten middle. Be helping-centric, not business-centric in developing your business. Now, this will grind some of you. Well, no, Jim, my time, I have a client who says, Jimmy, very successful now. I won't even go across the street for a $25,000 premium. And this is when my heart just falls, and I think, what was I thinking in 2003 when I gave up my license? I would drive right across Toronto. I live in Burlington. I'd drive all the way to Toronto for $25,000. I don't know, call me crazy, but I do it. But we've gotten lost in this is where solus nobis comes in. Well, it's all about my business, don't you know? It's all about me being bigger, me being better, me being smarter, me being richer, me having more time off, me only working 100 days a year. That's what it's about. Be careful. Just be careful. Make your business about them, not about you. You know, I think in our rush in the past 30 years to be better business people, we may have forgotten that this business is about the people, not about our business. Let's remember what the late, great John Savage used to say. He said, take care of your clients first, last, and always, and they'll always take care of you. This is a words, stories, and questions business. Become a master of the words that help others take advantage of your expertise to improve their financial outcomes. Consider and develop the concepts that are good door openers to more detailed planning. Help your prospects buy the way they want to buy and not the way you think they need to. Remember, nobody needs life insurance. And number 6, this ought to freeze out a few of you. Service all your clients equally. Isn't that a thing here? Financial security for all. Isn't that an advocacy thing? I'm not on the board. I don't know. Tried to be on the board. They wouldn't have me. But isn't that a thing? Financial security, isn't that a thing? It's a thing, right? Financial security for all. No, just the top 20% that give us the best business. The ones that really give us the moolah. Those are the ones we want to deal with. You see, that's part of what's gone on here. We've lost track of this. We've lost track. And I'll tell you what, if you are one of these people who says, well, I provide service proportionate to the amount of money you give me, doesn't that even sound wrong when you say it out loud? Yeah, I provide service based upon how valuable you are to me. The more money you give me, the better I work. You don't give me no money, I don't do nothing. Nothing at all. All right. Here's the thing. Professional service applies to all these people. This profession is a calling. It's not just a way to make money. ABCs, A clients, B clients, C clients, I got D clients, E clients, means we are more solus nobis for ourselves than non-solus nobis, not for ourselves alone. We can be more worried about ourselves than we are about others. To provide more service to a growing business, if that's your question, well then how do I deal with all this? What if you, I don't know, it's a crazy concept. What if you started to bring young people into your business? Help expand your business. Wouldn't that be good for your business? Built-in succession planning. Oh, we're all freaked out about succession. We got no succession. What if we brought it in, Bob? See, I could bring in a young guy like Bob there, Robert. I could bring him in. He's just a pup, right? We could bring him in. That would be a good thing. And how important would that be? And remember this one line. I just love this. Nobody ever wants to be your C client. And think about it this way. If 20% of your business comes from 80% of your clients, then servicing them according to what they are worth means that you are damaging your brand with 80% of your clientele. Oh, Pareto's all well and good. 80-20 rule, Jim. 80-20. 80-20. Until you start to think about what it's really doing to you. Then we wonder, why don't I get the referrals I want? When I was on the main platform, the $1 Million Roundtable, I said, the dirty little secret about referrals is simply this. If you don't get the referrals that you believe you deserve, it's because your client doesn't think you're worth it. So careful, you have to be careful. Your book is also the best source of new business and introductions too. If you work it properly, it's all valuable. So we know that the new professionalism is just the old one at the same time. It's about serving your clients and prospects to maximize their financial security and independence. And in that order, security first, plan, independence later. So what can you do to be more professional? I got a minute and a half here, unless I take more. But I know that I'm also the only thing between you and lunch, so who knows? What can you do? Simplify everything you say or present. Make financial security easier for your prospects and clients by speaking in their language and speaking so that they understand you. Simplify it all. Do their homework. Do their thinking for you. Quick Draw McGraw used to say to Bubba Louie, "I'll do the thinning around here, Bubba Louie." Do the thinning for them. Do the thinking for them. People are going, who the hell is Quick Draw McGraw? Yes, I know. I'll look it up. You can Google it. Decide you'll stop competing with other professionals. And you will specialize in the part of business that really impresses you, and then you'll collaborate with those other professionals to help more. You'll help more clients and help yourself more too. Start expanding. The average advisor, life insurance advisor in this country doesn't sell 20 policies a year. It's more like 15 in a year. I don't know, there's nothing to this business. I can't make a living. Well, no, if you stop like in the third week of January, of course not, right? Decide that you will help your clients plan while protected from insurable threats to their lives and livelihoods by advancing essential financial security before you get to planning. So you don't let health disasters become emotional and financial catastrophes. 4, learn and share the full value of life insurance and even collaborate if you have to, even when you don't. And finally, and remember that when, I think this is a great line to remember. I'm just trying to think what this actual timer says. I'm not really sure. Remember that when used as intended, tax-exempt cash value life insurance returns every dollar paid into it, exchanging or changing the nature of a payment from an expense to a contribution to an asset. When used as intended, every dollar in is a dollar out and then some. And it's no longer an expense, it becomes an asset. Identify some concepts that inspire you, because if you're inspired, you can be inspiring. Finally, start servicing your clientele, all of them, as if they were your A clients, and just see how much better things can be. I'm almost done. Remember to keep the magic of life insurance in your business. George Sigurdson said to me, "Jimmy, don't forget to tell them about the magic of life insurance." I said, "George, I won't." The magic of life insurance. It's not about risk management. It's about the magic of life insurance. So finally, remember this. Sometimes beyond risk management, you can sell life insurance not just on people, but you can sell it for people. So finally, I'll leave it with this. Here's the takeaways. Embrace simplicity, not complication. Expand your model to help more people. Help clients guarantee their essential financial security corporately and personally. Engage your prospects with compelling concepts so they can grow into the planning process naturally and enthusiastically. And start providing service for all of your clients. And just see how much bigger your business can be. I want to thank you all for this amazing opportunity to be with you today. It is a delight to be here. I was honored and blessed to have the opportunity. I hope this gives you some idea. I know I'm louder than the average here, but I hope that's okay. May God bless you and bring us all peace in these extraordinarily troubled times. You know, lest we forget. Go be amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Jim, for a very, very energetic speech. The amazing thing is you weren't even mic'd. You did that all by your own. Now, I don't know if any of you saw this, but Jim has a very, very unique business card that you may have all seen. I'm $1 million US richer, so thanks very much.
We have millions of them.
We have a lot of them. So life insurance really is magic, so thanks very much, Jim.
By the way, these are all approved by FSRA as a marketing technique. I didn't know that, but Ollie pointed out to me earlier, so or maybe that wasn't.
No?
Anyway, never mind.
They're here, so they can. So I took away a few things, and I think you've reiterated in the past in your remarks. Simplicity over complexity, context, not content, wisdom, not data, and avoid asking how much your wife weighs, because that apparently is not the good thing to do. I have a few questions. Maybe I could scope down on some of the remarks that you've had. Building on your essential financial security comments, we hear a lot these days about suitability and the requirement in some jurisdictions for competing needs analysis. How can an advisor best deal with this while adhering to your first principle of simplifying complexity?
Look, I think that's a great question, and it's one of those things. First of all, I got to say, I'm not sure that all regulators understand how people buy life insurance. I'm not really sure if all regulators bought any life insurance. I don't know that. But here's what I do know, that people have a habit of buying based upon what they understand. I think that if I can get people excited about an idea, and by the way, people's needs are remarkably similar in the totality of it. In the mass affluent market, it's not that complicated. Oh, I know we like to think it's complicated, but it really isn't, in my opinion. And I've been doing this for, a while. And I've seen it done in many, many places. So what I'm saying is start simple. When somebody decides to make things happen, well, now you can put those numbers, Ali, into your software. You can do that into your programming. You can say, and look what we've accomplished by doing this job for you in advance. Here's what we've done. Because what happens, instead of that, is people will, and I have clients who I spent 3 months with a client trying to figure out how much life insurance they need, among other things. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. But 5 months, people forgot why they were there. And again, I think you want to help people buy life insurance while they still can. Here's the problem. If you feel the need for life insurance, it's probably too late. Got a little bit of chest pain here. I think I should, I'll buy some insurance. I think I'll go online. Yeah, that'll be a thing. Right? By the time you need it, you can't get it in the volumes you need it at a price that makes sense. So I say start this way, not that we don't go there. And by the way, that could just be in the process. We get them going, hey, you need 10 times. Why? Everybody knows that. In fact, Google it. They'll tell you 10 times. And 20 times at 5% means your family gets, at 5%, they get 100% of your income when you're gone. Not that complicated, at 5%. So I get them excited to get the job done, and then we back it up with the paperwork. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe I could scope down a little bit more on how we get people excited just about concepts, because concepts are a great way to begin a conversation. But regulatory guidelines, something that I do day to day, require needs assessment and suitability, as you know. What can advisors do to bridge from the general to the specific?
Let me put it to you like this. Would you like to know how to become the beneficiary of your own life insurance policy while you were still alive?
Yeah, that'd be a great try.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you? If I could show you how to do that in 10 minutes, would that be worth 10 minutes of your time?
Absolutely.
Would it? Why don't we, within the next couple of weeks, can you carve out 10 minutes so we can chat about exactly that? Here's my point. I can sell life insurance that way. Be the beneficiary of your own policy. That means there are living benefits to life policies. I just want him to say yes. Let me show you how this works. He goes, oh, I never knew that. I remember showing my son, I wasn't selling him anything, but I was talking about some of my talks. I was talking about, he's 37 years old. I'm talking about how, I have a significant six-figure sum of money I pay annually for life insurance. 6 figures. I'm talking the left-hand side of the decimal point here. And I paid this money every year. And he says, Dad, why would you do this? I said, well, every dollar I put in, I get back. He says, what the hell? What do you mean? I thought life insurance was just a grudge purchase. You just put it in and you, forgive me, piss it away. No, well, there's some like that. But I've never heard of it. So all I need is to get you there. Now, how much do you need? How much can you afford? Now you want to know, well, how could I do that? And now I can show you how I can tune the plan, and I can use any plan, any software to support that thinking. But I want you to buy in first.
Right. Maybe another direction where I thought your presentation was very interesting was this issue about how we service more clients rather than less. And in an era where advisors are looking towards high net worth clients and the kind of more complex and sophisticated plans that are better for them, not just for the money, but it's also more interesting. How does an advisor balance between servicing the many and also prioritizing those with the more complex files?
This is one of these great fallacies in this business, that all the fun is on the big cases. Remember this, your attitude is inversely related to the length of time since your last sale. And if you only do big cases, you're not doing, I have a client who does like 5 cases a year and he makes $7 or $8 million a year. But he's cranky most of the time because it's a hard business. How is it that a guy like George Sigurdsson, who I mentioned, can do 250, 300 cases a year? Has no problem. He has the backup staff to do all of this. You know where he finds the enjoyment and the excitement of saying, look what you've done. He says, I just talked to a client the other day, he says, 67 years old. I sold him when he was 30. He came in and I showed him what he had bought all these days. He said, nobody has ever said, I'm sure sorry I bought all that cash value life insurance when I was 30 when they're 65. Nobody ever said that, never. So all I'm saying to you is that we help people understand the value, and we just take them through the process.
Great. Shifting gears a little bit around privacy.
Yeah.
We all know that, but the importance of personal information and also the threats to the breach of such information, and the governments and regulators are finding new ways to ensure that kind of information is protected. What can advisors do to ensure that's the case? That personal information, which is, in the case of the advisors that we're talking about, don't just have financial information, but also have information on the personal health circumstances of their clients.
It's interesting. I was listening to the talks earlier on about this, and I'm thinking, God, if I was selling insurance today, it would all be on paper, so PIPEDA wouldn't even apply to me because I don't have any electronic documents. Look, here's the thing. When I started in 1977, before I even got my contract, God help you if you crossed the line where the staff was. There was a counter there. If anybody went over there, it was like someone with a ruler would break your neck. Just get out of here. You can't do that. Compliance is an important consideration, always has been. We just didn't invent compliance last Thursday. Let's understand this. This has been a long-standing thing. And keeping your client's information private and secure has always been a thing, whether it was locked file boxes or whether it's the software that we heard about and different kinds of software. It's always been a thing. But I look at it this way. I've done several talks on using compliance to build your business. Compliance is for whom? It's for them. It's for their security. It's for their business. So I think we embrace compliance. By the way, life insurance compliance is a little easier to deal with than having everybody else's compliance attached to you. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I just do that, or why I would even encourage that. Life insurance compliance is still important, but I'd keep it smaller. But again, look, use compliance to your advantage. Be more professional. Look, everything we do, we're doing for the privacy, for your support, for your security, for your privacy, Ali. That's what we do, and I think just embrace it. You're not going to run away from this. You can't hide. It just doesn't work like that. Does that help?
Yep, absolutely. Listen, Jim, I know we're up against time because we have lunch in front of us and many people who want to get to lunch. So I just wanted to, on behalf of everybody, on behalf of advocates, want to say thank you for the time and for the inspiration and for the magic of life insurance. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ben.